Okay, Autumn, hello. How are you doing? I've got your work up here. Now, I noticed that you submitted the back of the poster too. Let me describe why I think that's a mistake at this point, based on what we've learned so far and what we're learning in the class, and specifically in the lectures and how we apply that information to our design work. Now, what I'm asking you to do as a student is I'm asking you to kind of start to think a little bit differently about design. So, in other words, you are designing the front and the back of the poster, but it's not just design. You're using typography to create meaning. You're using denotative and connotative meaning, or establishing denotative and connotative meaning based on your design choices. Therefore, if you're following the assignment specifications, we're saying, okay, well, first we're going to sketch. Then we're going to take those sketches and we're going to start to develop the front of the poster. Then we're going to take the front of the poster, tweak it, adjust it, edit it. Then we'll start, based on a completed front of the poster, we'll start working on the back of the poster using signals, signs, and signifiers from the front of the poster as a continuation into the back of the poster, creating a harmonious relationship with the front of the poster, as well as creating continuation in meaning from the front of the poster to the back of the poster. Okay, so for that reason, I think it's a mistake to say, okay, here's the front of the poster, go ahead and give me your comments, and here's the back of the poster, go ahead and give me your comments. Wouldn't it make more sense to give the sketches, get comments on those, apply that feedback to the front of the poster, work on the front of your poster digitally, receive comments and recommendations, then apply those to the front of the poster, then based on those decisions, those choices, and that meaning and that presentation, then start working on the back of the poster. I hope that makes sense, and it's really important consideration in terms of design. And really the idea here is that no decisions are made arbitrarily. Everything has meaning, okay? That said, let's go and jump over. All right, so we've got, the one thing I'm seeing here is in terms of typography, is there any meaning being created typographically? And I'm going to go ahead and again, I don't want to sound discouraging, but I'm not real sure what meaning you're trying to establish here. Okay, you've got a very basic typographic composition here. You've got the same typeface being used for the laureate as well as the Nobel lecture. I'm not sure what that is, but that should be some sort of tagline or subhead. Nobel lecture. Boy, that just doesn't seem like a complete thought. So I would try to come up with a tagline that more defines your laureate. Okay, so for example, Martin Luther King, champion of peace. Okay, something like that. See what I'm saying? So try to create some meaning, connecting the subhead to the laureate. Okay, the next thing we see is very, very basic typographic composition, meaning that everything is centered. So there's no establishment there's no real engaging. You're not engaging the negative space in the composition. And we learned this about one of the caveats on center-aligned typographic compositions is the fact that you're not activating the negative space. Okay. My recommendations at this point are really to try to create these circles right here. They're not playing any typographic role, okay? So the front of the poster does not include image or illustration unless it's incorporated into the type somehow. Let me show you an example. Here's, let's go jump up right up here. Okay, see the peace sign is incorporated right into the type. The rifle is incorporated right into the type. Okay, so there's not just an illustration of a rifle. It's incorporated into the type. In this particular case, we don't see that in your typographic work. We don't see any meaning being created here. Okay, so that's what I would like you to work on. I would like you to work on really creating some sort of meaning, create some sort of visual connection between Dorothy Crowfoot Hodgkin and her accomplishments and the typographic presentation on the front of the poster. Do you see what I'm saying? So shoot for that. Right now, I'm not going to even comment on the back of the poster right now until we have a little bit more information on the front of the poster. I hope that makes sense to you. And again, I do not want to sound discouraging. I just really want you to understand the design process here as it relates to decision making and creating meaning. Okay. Hope you understand it. I hope that makes sense to you. It's really important to me that you do understand that. So let me know. Now, moving forward, I would continue working here. I would really continue working. Now, let me give you an example of creating meaning. Now, these circles apparently have some sort of significance to the laureate and her accomplishments, right? So instead of just using these illustrations of these smaller circles, you could take this, okay, and let's say the O in Hodgkin, you take that green circle and replace the O. So you just have a green circle for the O. Then you diminish the size of that O. So whatever this is signifying here can be signified typographically by using what's called visual substitution, taking this right here and replacing the O with the circles getting smaller. Do you see what I'm saying? Now you're creating meaning typographically and not using basic isolated illustration. So whatever meaning this is, presumably is going to be explained and described further on the back of the poster. That will start, the viewer is going to start saying, okay, now that makes sense, right? So think about that. And then also think about variation. Think about providing some typographic hierarchy. In this particular case, I would recommend mixing a sans serif with a serif. Now, if we take a look at this composition right here, we can see some pretty severe issues in your kerning. Now, remember, we spent 2 weeks on learning kerning, manually drawing, and really practicing kerning. Right now, we've just got enormous spacing between your letter forms here. Okay, remember that. Remember our kerning lessons and our basic general rules of kerning regarding two curves together, a curve and a straight, a diagonal and a curve, a diagonal and a straight. Remember those and watch your kerning here. Okay, so those are my recommendations. If you want to run something by me between now and Sunday when the final iteration of the front of the poster is due, please feel free and let me help you as much as I can here. So, good start. And again, it's really important my comments make sense to you. So let me know. Just clarify that for me if you would. All right, good job, Autumn. Thank you very much.